Hello, it's good to see you. Today we're going to be making two very simple but very yummy things to eat. I'm really excited. Now the first thing that we're going to do, we've done before, but I've had several people ask me to do it again. We are going to make a tomato sandwich, which I learned that a lot of people have never heard of tomato sandwiches, which I can't believe, but there are people who've never heard of it who think it's the weirdest thing they've ever heard of. Don't knock it till you try it. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to make and enjoy a tomato sandwich. And then after that, we're going to make something that's kind of similar that you might not have heard of. I had never heard of it before just a few days ago, and it sounded interesting and I wanted to try it. It's very simple, just a few ingredients, but it sounds yummy. So the first thing we're going to do is get our stuff together to make a tomato sandwich. Now normally I use Merita bread. I don't have any Merita old-fashioned bread, but if you have access to Merita, personally I think it tastes better. It has the perfect density, and everything about it is perfect, and that's what I grew up eating. When I made a tomato sandwich, that's what we always had, was Merita old-fashioned bread. This is our Love & Fresh classic white bread from Aldi. It's totally fine. It'll work. Any bread works, but I find that if you're making a tomato sandwich, just to me, just plain white bread is the best. To me, it's just the best. So we're going to use some of this to make our sandwich with, because this is what I have available. I went to the farmer's market yesterday and I found some really great tomatoes. Now this first one here is, it doesn't look all that different from what you probably find in your store. This is a sunbeam tomato, which I've never tried a sunbeam tomato. I don't really know what the difference is, but you can get the most beautiful homegrown tomatoes at our farmer's market, and they're so good. They're so much better than the ones in the grocery store, but you can really only get them, during the warmer months of the year. Now you'll find if you can get your tomatoes at the farmer's market and they're homegrown, they smell so good. They're juicier, they have more flavor. After you've been eating these for a while, one from the grocery store just tastes like cardboard. It tastes synthetic. It's just not as good. So this is a sunbeam tomato right here. But I also got some of these. Ooh, look at, okay, so you see the pretty color on it? It's kind of greenish purple, but look, it's dark green. Look, and it has little stripes in it. This is the coolest tomato. Now this is I believe it's a Cherokee tomato, Cherokee or Cherokee purple or something like that. They have a bunch of different types and I can never remember the names of all of them. These are really, really good. I love these. They're a little sweet to me. So juicy, so wonderful. So I have this one. This one kind of looks normal, it has the nice tomato shape. But my rule of thumb is, not always, but sometimes, the uglier the tomato, the better it tastes. So you want to find one that looks like a tumor, kind of like this looks like a swollen kidney or something. This is another, I think this is one of the Cherokee tomatoes. You see it kind of has little stripes of like a greenish purple color in it. Now you'll see too that there are these kind of, it's like it's split and then it healed itself, like it has scars on it. These are a little harder to cut. You're not going to get the same lovely little round slices that you get from like one of these. So the slices are going to be kind of funky looking, but for what we're doing, it's not going to matter, because once you have it on your sandwich and you cover it up, you're not going to see it anyway, so it doesn't really matter if it's not perfect. Oh my goodness, they smell so good. I wish you could smell this. It's just, to me, it just smells like summer. It's fabulous. And then I got this one too. This is, I cannot remember what this is. It might be a German Johnson. I'm not really sure. I just grabbed the ones that look good. Obviously you're going to cut all that out. You're not going to include that part. Still got some green on it. That's okay. That's okay. It's very pretty. It's a nice hefty tomato. And they smell so good. Oh my word, they smell great. Now for this sandwich, I'm going to do something kind of different because I want to try something. I figured this is the perfect time to do it. For half of the sandwich, we're going to do just regular Duke's mayonnaise. Now this is the cute little plastic squeeze bottle. I like these. It's the same mayonnaise, it's not really in a jar. It's in this little squeeze bottle, and you have the little thing here, and you just, like ketchup kind of, you just put it, wherever you want it. So we'll do half of it in that. But I found this other stuff the other day in the store, Duke's Sandwich Relish. I've never tried this before. I've never put relish on a tomato sandwich. I keep it pretty basic. I just do, white bread, tomato slices, a little bit of mayonnaise, and salt. If I'm feeling especially sassy, I might put a little pepper on it, but usually that's it. But I thought it would be interesting to do half of it in regular mayonnaise and half of it in this sandwich relish, just to see what it tastes like. I don't know. So I'm gonna give this a shot. I've never tried this in anything, so we're gonna put a little bit of this on the sandwich. We're also gonna take the second thing that we're gonna do and do half of it in this and half of it in this. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash all of my tomatoes and get my bread and everything ready, and we will get started on that sandwich. Okay, I picked this one out to start with because it's very soft and needs to be eaten pretty soon. So we're gonna start with this one for the sandwich. There's plenty here. I'm gonna have some left over. Now, everybody has different ways of cutting tomatoes. My mother does it very differently than I do. She removes all the skin. I don't. But, to each his own. You do it whatever way works for you. But I am going to cut this little scar off. Now, it is very rainy here today, so you're going to hear some rain. I'm going to try to slice like this, perhaps. Now remember, I'm not a professional. I don't care. Okay. A different kind of knife might have worked better. Now you'll see, these are very juicy tomato slices. We'll cut some at an angle. Now my hands are clean, but you're going to start to see what the inside looks like. It's kind of got these purplish areas in here where the seeds are. You can really see it on this piece. It's quite dark. It's a much darker tomato than the standard one you're going to find in a grocery store. Okay, that's plenty. That's plenty. Now whenever I have some left over, usually I'll just wrap it in plastic wrap or put it in a container and stick it in the refrigerator. Okay, now that we have our slices of tomato, aren't they pretty? We're going to move this aside for a minute and bring in a plate. Now this is what we're going to put our bread on. Now we're going to do half of it in regular Duke's mayonnaise, and the other half we're going to try this sandwich relish. I'm really looking forward to trying that on the salad that we're going to do next. So this just has a little spout. I don't use a lot of mayonnaise. I really don't. Let's see. We'll put a little here. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. There. Okay. I want it to be mirror images so that when I lay this back over the top, I'll have regular mayonnaise on one half and the sandwich relish on the other half. So we'll just try to keep it separated so we just have this regular mayonnaise here, like that. And then we take our sandwich relish. I'll just remove the seal from it. We're gonna put, ooh, look at that. I think it's got pimentas in it. I'm gonna put that here and here, so that when I put these two pieces back together, we'll have the relish spread on one side and the regular mayonnaise on the other. Just like that. Okay. Now, normally I have a fork to pick these up, but I don't have a fork handy. My hands are clean. I'm just gonna set these on here. Now you can put different amounts of tomatoes on your sandwich. You can put as much or as little as you like. I'm going to leave it like that, honestly. I want to be able to taste the stuff, so I don't want a ton of tomatoes on here. And I must not be feeling very sassy today because I think all I'm going to do is put a little bit of salt. Okay. Now we're going to lay it back like this. There. Now because these tomatoes are so juicy, you want to go ahead and eat this as soon as possible because the bread gets a little soggy. I do find that the Merita bread doesn't get soggy as fast because it's a little more dense. But let's give it a try. We have our sandwich all ready, and I know that this part is the regular mayonnaise and this over here is the relish sandwich spread. Now I'm gonna try the regular first because I know how good that is. That's so good. Nice, very nice. Now we're gonna try the side with the sandwich relish stuff on it. Looks like the tomato is hiding. I want to get a bite where I get tomato, sandwich spread, and bread. Oh, it's tangy. It just tastes like it has pickles on it. It's very tangy and it's very juicy. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. It has a nice tanginess to it. It's a nice change from the regular mayonnaise. I think typically though I like just the plain mayonnaise because I think the one problem with the relish spread is you kind of lose the taste of the tomato a little bit. It kind of overpowers that, so you don't really get to enjoy the tomato taste as much. It's still good and I'm still going to eat it, but I think I like the regular mayonnaise better. Maybe you could do just a little bit, like a very fine layer of the sandwich spread on one side of the bread and do just regular mayonnaise on the other. Got a little bit of both in that bite. That was good. So yeah, the sandwich spread it's good. But I think I put a little bit too much on there. I think if I did it again, I would do less of it and have more of just the regular mayonnaise. But yeah, they're messy. They drip, they fall apart, they get soggy on you. But in my experience, messy food is usually the best food. So it was very good. Okay, now that we have done that, we're going to go right into the other thing I wanted to make, and that is a tomato cracker salad, which like I said, I'd never heard of. It's a very simple thing. It's definitely something, according to this recipe, that you want to make right before you're ready to eat it. You can't really prepare it ahead of time or it'll get soggy. It's a very simple thing. I found this recipe on Southern Bite, and I will put a link to the recipe in the description, but it's super easy. All you're going to need for this are 4 medium garden fresh tomatoes, 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, 1 sleeve of saltine crackers coarsely broken, and salt and pepper to taste. So I'm going to go through and show you how to do that. I've never made it before. I've never tried it, so we're going to be trying it together. But what we're going to do a little differently though is we're going to split the recipe in half. We're going to make half of it with regular Duke's mayonnaise, and then we'll make the other half with this Duke's sandwich relish, which again, I'm not sure how that's going to be, but we're going to do half with regular and half with the sandwich relish, just to see how that tastes. So we're going to take our tomatoes and we're going to start chopping them up, and I will go over in the recipe how you prepare the tomatoes for this recipe. We are getting ready to make the tomato cracker salad. I went ahead and just took the rest of the tomato that we had from the sandwich and I seeded it, and then I took the recommendation of the recipe and set the pieces on paper towel to drain them. You should have seen the mess after I seeded this. I chopped it up coarsely. I didn't get all the seeds. I got lazy after a while and just quit worrying about it. It looked like a crime scene. I mean, I just had it was just red all over here. It was just gruesome. So then I grabbed this one and I just wanted to show you. I started cutting into it and it still got green in it, but that's okay. So according to this recipe, you want to remove as much of the moisture from the tomatoes as possible, because the crackers are going to get soggy, but they won't get soggy as fast if you try to remove as much of the moisture from the tomatoes as possible. So that's why I have them kind of sitting, and you can sort of see how much, these paper towels will dry when I put them down, but you can see, I mean, they've already absorbed a lot of that. So I'm just chopping these, however, it doesn't matter. I think mainly you just want them to be kind of bite-sized pieces. And I'm not going to follow the recipe exactly as far as how much of what to put. I don't think it really matters. You can just do it to taste. It's just mayonnaise, tomato, and salt and pepper. So the way the recipe described it, it's like having a tomato sandwich in a bowl. I've never thought of taking saltines and making a little salad with tomato like this before. So I thought it would be interesting to see what it tastes like. I have 2 bowls, and what we're going to do is we're going to make about half of it in one with the regular mayonnaise and half of it in the other with that sandwich relish stuff. We'll see what that's like. Personally, I think the sandwich relish is going to be good in here, but I don't know. But that's why we try things, is because we don't know. Think how boring life would be if you never tried anything. Ooh, that's an interesting slice. Not really many seeds in here, got a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty solid actually. I'm just going to make a little sampling of each. It's not exactly lunchtime and I don't have anybody here ready to eat anything, so I don't need a whole big bowl of it. Okay, I will do a little more. See, I just take the end of the knife and just kind of scraping the seeds out like that. And just trying to find a little hole in the paper towel to put them on. Just trying to make contact with that paper towel a little bit. Trying to wick some of that moisture out of there. We're getting into a more seedy territory. Sometimes when you pick the pieces up, the seeds just kind of fall out on their own. You don't really have to do anything. Okay. There. I think that's fine. Again, I'm really just making a little bit to test it. Now see, with this tomato, look at this pretty thing. Look at this pretty thing. That's a tomato, and I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. I'm going to use it later to make some tomato sandwiches. I love my tomato sandwiches with homegrown tomatoes. We're going to use my happy little mixing bowls. I have a whole set of these. I got at an antique store. They're from the 80s. They're made by Zach Designs. I have a whole set. They're all different colors. They're just little mixing bowls. We're going to use these to do our salad in. I said we were going to try the sunbeam tomato today, but after I started kind of feeling this one is still kind of green, but it's also starting to get a little squishy. I wanted to go ahead and use those up first. The sunbeam tomato, I think, has a few more days before I need to do it. So going to put about half in one bowl. Get in there. There. And about half in the other bowl. Look at all that. Look at all that tomato water that it's soaked up. That'll help. But yeah, this is not exactly a dish you can make in advance. Okay. So that's roughly half. I don't really know how much that is. The regular recipe calls for 4 medium-sized tomatoes. That's clearly not 4. So we won't need as much of the mayonnaise for these. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And I know that drives y'all crazy. It really makes some of y'all spin on your eyebrows if I don't measure it. But you know what they say about Southern cooks? You just keep adding it till your ancestors whisper, "That's enough. Stop, child." That's when you stop. That's when you stop. So this one is going to be just the regular mayonnaise. I'm going to put some in there. The first thing you do is mix the tomatoes with the mayonnaise. Okay. You just want to kind of coat the tomatoes. So that's the first one. Now that's just the regular mayonnaise. And now this one is going to be this sandwich relish. Duke's actually makes a whole lot of things. They have these southern sauces on the side. I don't really know a lot about the other products they make. I just know their regular old mayonnaise. Let's see, that might be too much. I don't think you can ever have too much of this kind of stuff. If it's too much, I'll cut up some more tomato and add it in there. Ooh, it smells good already. I can smell the tomatoes stronger in this one. I don't know. Something about the relish might bring it out. I don't know. All right. Now we need crackers. Now the recipe calls for a whole sleeve of saltines, but we're not making, we're not making that much. I have this pack here that my son opened and ate about half of it. We'll just I'll just add these in there. Now it said that you want to just break these up coarsely. You don't want to make them really small. Maybe just kind of break them into fourths. Rough. I mean, you can't break them exactly. Let's see. Okay. You want to lightly toss everything. You just want to coat the crackers. Now I know I could get in there and do it with my hands, but I'll just tell you, I hate handling stuff like this with my hands, and I'm just not going to do it, even if that's the best way. I am not sticking my hand in that. I guarantee you it's slimy, and I'm just not doing it. You can. I'm not doing it. If I ever have a cooking show, that's probably what I'm gonna call it. I'm not doing it. That way, if people want to criticize it, I can just say, I'm not doing it. Thank you for your input. I'm not doing it. Okay. You're just trying to coat the crackers. Now I can definitely see how they would get soggy in a hurry if you had a lot of that water from the tomatoes in here. Now we haven't added any salt or pepper. I'm not going to add pepper. I think I'm just going to add salt because that's how I want it and I'm the one eating it. I might see if I can grab a kid to help me eat the rest of it because I can't eat all this by myself. That's lightly coated now. I'm just going to sprinkle on a little salt. Stir that in. Okay. So we just stirred in the salt a little bit. I don't want a lot of salt because you remember the crackers already have salt on them, so I don't think you need a lot. Now, let's go try the regular and the sandwich relish tomato cracker salad. Now we are ready to try the tomato cracker salad. I put these in my these are bowls that you put the grapefruit halves in. I love them because they're yellow and they're so happy. And I'm using little teaspoons because they're small and I like the handles. We're not having grapefruits or tea, but we're having this. Now this is the regular tomato cracker salad just made with plain old mayonnaise like the recipe said. You can see we have our lovely bits of cracker in there. We have our tomato pieces. So I'm going to try the regular one first. This is the way they said to make it. That's actually really nice. You know, they said it was like a tomato sandwich in a bowl. It kind of is. Because the crackers have that nice coating. You have the tomato juice and the mayonnaise in here and a little bit of salt. So the crackers get kind of soft. They're not hard and crunchy anymore. Yeah. This is really good. I would have never thought to combine these ingredients like this to make a little salad. It's really good. It was so easy. It would be a quick, inexpensive little thing to make. You probably already have everything you need except maybe the tomatoes. That's really good, but you know, like the instructions say, you really need to make this right before you serve it. Because I can see if this sat for very long, it would be very, very sad. It would be very chewy and sad. Okay. Now this one is the one that we made with the relish sandwich spread. It smells good. It smells good. Oh, that's nice. I like that better than the relish sandwich spread on the sandwich. This in the salad is really good. That's delicious. That's delicious. I think really, since it's a salad, you kind of expect different tastes. So it really seems to fit there better than on the sandwich, because to me, a tomato sandwich shouldn't have a bunch of extra flavors. It should just be white bread, mayonnaise, tomatoes, and salt. Maybe a little pepper. That's just the way I've always made them. But this in here with the little cracker bits and the pieces of tomato, it's really good in here. That's fantastic. That's wonderful. I would eat a bowl of this and nothing else. Like, I would just eat this for lunch. I may very well eat this for lunch. And the rest of my sandwich. That's better. I like the relish spread better in this than the regular mayonnaise. The stuff with the regular mayonnaise is good, but with this relish in it, it has a little extra zing to it. It adds a wonderful flavor. I just want to keep eating it. That's wonderful. That's good. And you saw how easy it was to make. Super easy. The hardest part was seeding the tomatoes, cutting them up, and kind of, I used another paper towel to just kind of pat it a little bit, kind of get as much of that water out of there as possible. That was the hardest part. And then you just kind of dump everything in a bowl, mix it up, and it's ready. So yeah, that's wonderful. I really like this. I'm definitely going to keep making this with the relish spread from Duke's. You could use any kind though. If you can't get Duke's, you could use whatever. I'm definitely going to be making this again and again and again, as long as fresh tomatoes are available this summer and from there on. So that's awesome. I found a new thing that I really like, and I'll put a link in the description to that recipe, but it's so easy. It's so easy. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed making these things. We've done tomato sandwiches before, but we've never done it with that relish sandwich spread, so that was fun. And the tomato cracker salad, very quick, very easy, very good. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you again for being here, and I will see you again really soon.